obviously both of you guys have kids now that are following in your footsteps. Hey, how cool is that to see, and how much, like I think about my dad and how he was with me versus how I'm gonna be with my kids. Like, has it changed from how your pops was with you to now how you coaching the twins?
My dad wasn't really, my dad was a drug dealer and drug user. So I mean, I didn't really have an example when it came to like how to do anything when it comes to kids, love, relationships. So to me, it was always me kind of figuring out on our own. The fact that we have kids by sisters, I think it's dope because, now, my kid's uncle is Gilbert Arenas and vice versa. There's things we can teach, each of our kids now because we both had long, successful careers. So it's dope. Like to me, from everything I had in my past, I try to be like the absolute best father because I didn't have very much, you know what I mean? So to me, it's just kids are first. Obviously, anyone who knows me knows that, my kids are my life. So I just think it's dope, and I think it's that fine line because I decided to coach. He decided, not to coach, and he trains a little bit now. But it's that thin line between being dad and being coach and being friend and being a disciplinary action, so I'm learning, on the fly too. But I just never really wanted to be one of those dads that tried to live through my kids because I'd already lived my life to how I felt to be the absolute fullest. So I'm there in support, I'm there to teach, and it's fun watching these kids kind of fall in love with the game and really want it for themselves because, again, with me and him both, our kids aren't going to live the way we lived growing up. They're going to have all the advantages they want, but at the end of the day, like, we can't want it more than them. Like, they have to want it, and I can definitely say on both sides of the fence that our kids want it now, and it's dope because they go to school together, they get to play together all the time, and it's going to be fun because, Elijah's only 1 year older than twins, so they're going to be able to play with each other probably up until college.
And what's so funny is like, just like athletes, right? You learn from each other. So learning how to be a father, I got to watch. You know what I mean? Like, I watch my dad because, I was raised by my dad, but he's single father, right? So, but he's acting and doing all this stuff. I'm, trying to, I'm damn near raising myself sometimes. Because, when I get home from school and training and all that stuff, he's asleep. When I'm growing up, so we can be in the same house 2 weeks and I ain't see the man once.
Word, right.
You know what I mean? But he made sure I had, my food, my clothes, and all that stuff. So like watching what, so when I go to games, I'm just watching other parents. Like, all right, okay, all right. You just try, oh yeah, they clapped, all right, all right, this motherfucker did a whole, you missed this free throw, like, I don't want that, right? So you just, you're just watching your peers, watching LeBron, watching Chris Paul, you watching, because that's all, like, we're in the same boat. We had the same life. So when it's done, what are you guys doing? All right, okay. So all right, this is how you move it, and you trying to learn. You know what I mean? You're trying to learn. Watching someone make a mistake and say, all right, that's okay. Let me go. Okay, they like that. Let me go here. So you're just trying to really just get a whole grasp of fatherhood after playing, because when you're playing. Like I can tell you when I played, I was no father. No. Hoop first, bro. Hoop first. Like, I don't care about your little school, your little preschool, your little drawings you done put on the refrigerator. I don't give about none of that. I got Kobe coming to town. I got like, these guys are coming to town. I ain't got time to be sitting here, walking down the street. Nah, I'm in the gym getting my 500 shot. Like, so when I had kids, my life didn't stop. Nah, y'all got to fit into this. Yeah. But once I was done, it was like, I don't have this. Now y'all are the basketball now.
Right.
You know what I mean? I gotta fit into you guys' world.
And that's the difference too, I think, to obviously give Gil his credit, Gil was a different beast. His work ethic, his grind, his attention to detail, like, that was him. And like I said earlier in the interview, I don't want this to come off disrespectful or not appreciate, but I didn't love basketball like that. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciated life in the moment, you know what I mean? So I'm there from the beginning, with the twins being born, getting them in the middle of the night with my ex and burping one while she's feeding one, changing a diaper and putting them back down. So I was there the whole process, you know what I mean? So to me, it was always gonna be, no matter what the else, NBA, what else I had going on, like, fatherhood was and still is my biggest accomplishment, you know what I mean? So to me, the hardest part for me was when I decided to split from my ex-wife and then not having my boys there all the time, because although I was in season, like, we still would go to the park, we'd still go on walks, we'd still do all this shit. So that stuff was difficult for me, and I had to mentally kind of understand that because I still had to play. You know what I mean? Like my job, I never forgot what my job was, but I'm like, damn, like I haven't seen my kids in a month. Damn, I haven't seen my kids in 6 weeks. Like what the you know what I mean? And to keep it real, that's really one of the main reasons why I retired. When I had just signed a 3-year contract with the Kings, I retired that same year with Golden State because I hadn't seen, up to that, there was one point where I went like a 3-month stretch without seeing my kids. I'm like, I'm 37 years old, just came up on a championship. I have other things going. Like it might be time to make that transition because I want more of that now. Like I want more with my kids. I want to start coaching my kids and being around my kids more. So it was always a special bond with me and the twins, and now, being fortunate enough to have Ashton now too, so I get a chance to start all over. So I've always been a very hands-on dad. So it's dope, but still everything that Gil said, watching and learn from other people. Because like I said, whatever the example you had, like the examples weren't the typical father shit you see. So, we're always trying to learn on the fly and learn from each other.
So I know obviously your dad's a legend, but do you think the way he's a legend, but he used to pull up the game. It was
he did some shit,
when the Barnes family was coming through, it was a level of respect you just had. But this is not a man who's to be trifled with, but real shit. But do you see the way kind of your dad was a parent to you? Did you make a conscious effort that hey, I want to be different with my kids?
I want to be better, but at the same time, like I said, and I don't want to come across as, my dad was there, you know what I mean? And he, as Gil said, he made sure we ate, we had clothes, we got to school, everything. Like they were functioning within their dysfunction. They were functional. So, my dad and I became close when my mom died in 2007 when I was with that We Believe team. And that's for the first time when he kind of, to me, became a father. First time I can remember hugging him, first time saying I love you, first time seeing him cry, and I'm 27, but my dad was there the whole entire time. There just wasn't that kind of connect. So, now to me, I was always under the impression that it was never too late to be a father. So although I feel like he kind of missed out on fathering me, my brother, and my sister, but then also finding out the root of that now because we've had conversations and I found out how he was brought. To me, he's an amazing grandfather now. And now we have a better relationship. So there's never really no grudge or I want to be better. Like to me, it was just from the jump. That was my motivation. But now he's a dope dad to me and a dope grandfather, and that's all that matters.
That's the craziest thing. That's the key. It's never like when people say, "Man, it's too late." It's never too late.
Yeah. Never too late.
It's never too late.
And especially when you have a kind of a grasp. Like you gotta understand. Like my parents were like we had the party house. You know what I mean? So I'm seeing people do lines of cocaine like this at 3-4 years old walking around. So I knew at an early age what kind of drugs and, had a handle. And that's what people did in the 80s. People did drugs in the 80s and partied and did whatever they want. So I got that. I was in the fast lane in the early 80s, you know what I mean? So to me, kind of having the concept of understanding like, he's on drugs, it's him, but it's not really him. Once he's able to kind of clean himself up and be sober and really put that effort in you need, he was great at it. You know what I mean? Sure. So to me, I just kind of had a perspective and understanding because I was in the fast lane, once I touched the earth.
Yeah, most definitely. And now, you said that you're coaching your kids. They're top team in their age group, right?
Yeah, we got a really good team.
They're killing, right?
Yeah, we got a really good team. We just transitioned into 13U now. But majority of our team's still 12. But we got a good team. It's fun because it's fun being able to teach these kids, and they're at an age where they still listen. And to see their growth and development about the game is fun. So yeah, we got a good team, and we continue to work. And the thing about the Twins was, again, I was never going to push them, so they just had a high basketball IQ, but they never worked at the game. You know what I mean? And I think I thank Kobe every day, rest in peace. He was the one I feel like kind of let a fire under him because Gil can tell you, like, we can tell our kids till they're blue in the face, but we're dads, so. Dad type shit, you know what I mean? But, for me to be, you know it too, right?
Yeah.
Your pops was a legend, you know what I mean? So, but that's dad. But when someone else says it, so getting them to be able to interact with Kobe and Kobe being able to work them out and come to their games, and then obviously his, untimely death, like he is the one that really lit a fire under the Twins and started them understanding, like, because I remember I took them to work out with them for their 10th birthday. And Kobe, what are they into? I was like, these motherfuckers play video games all day. He's like, all right. So when they get there, where are you guys going to school? Simultaneously, we're going to UCLA. And Kobe's like, no, you're not. These boys are like, we're not? He's like, well, not if you guys don't work at your game. Like your dad says you guys are good on, you guys play video games, so you guys might be some computer nerds or this and that, but you're not going to play basketball. And they're still kind of confused, like, we're not? Like, no, you got to work at this shit. and he busted their ass in this workout, and after they were done, they were just like, okay, I like this. And then 3.5 months later, Kobe passes, and it's just like, shit, we're gonna do it for Kobe now. So when I tell you, like, that's when they're like, well, Dad, well, okay, we want to train their dad and we want to start working out more. And since that point, to see how much they've gotten better, because again, they always had the IQ, but now you add the skill to it. It's just like, oh, this is fun, and it's gonna continue to get fun now because again, they love it and they want it, not because I want it.
So you talk about Kobe, obviously you got the whole flinching incident and all that good stuff, but that literally motivates him to bring you on the squad.
Right.
Let's talk about going from obviously with the Magic to now on the Lakers and developing that bond and relationship to the point now where you can bring your 10-year-olds for their birthday out to Orange County to get that workout.
You know, because I mean, my Kobe relationship started at UCLA. You know, he was young when he came to LA and he was always on our campus. I'm like, isn't that Kobe? And he'd be walking around our campus working out and stuff, so getting a chance to see him and watch him work out and playing against him in the summer, I was just a fan and kind of had that admiration, knowing just like, yo, this dude is next. You know, I was in 1998, he's, you know, I'm seeing him work out and I'm just like, yo, this dude is next Jordan type shit. So fast forward, I was a fan, getting a chance to play with him. It was just, again, someone that I knew, okay, I get a chance to play against defense against Kobe. This is great. So there's always real competitive nature with us. And then in the Orlando situation, I mean, anyone that plays Kobe, you know, he's dirty as grabs you, elbows you, says shit, does whatever, but they'll never call a foul on him. Like, known for elbowing you in the sternum, known for just doing all kinds of crazy shit, but it was part of that mental, you know, warfare that he liked to put on you. So I was just to the point now when this motherfucker didn't elbow me in my sternum, hit me in my nuts, elbow me in my chin. Like, I'm gonna fight this dude because these punk ass refs aren't calling nothing. So when the ball fake shit happened, it wasn't like I'm gonna fake the ball in his face. Literally, my arms just did it by themselves. Like, I wanted to slam that shit in his face. So I faked it, and then, you know, it kind of became what it did. But fast forward, so my situation in Orlando doesn't work out. So I get a call from Pat Riley, like, hey, you know, we got this, we're putting this team together. And I'm like, okay, what kind of team? Because I mean, I'm in Orlando, Miami's right up the freeway. You know, we're in talks with Chris Bosh and LeBron might be coming. And then I was like, really? What? Really? It's like, you know, but it's, you know, this is what it could be. And, you know, our crunch timeline, it could be you, LeBron, D Wade, Bosh, and Mike Miller. And, you know, we're going to win some rings. So I'm thinking, I'm just going to go to Miami. And it's Miami, too. I'm going to go to Miami. And then I get this call from a number I don't know. And I'll never answer my phone, but I just happen to answer it. And it's Cole. I'm just like, yeah, all right. Who's this? He's like, nah, it's Cole, for real. I'm just like, what? I'm like, what's up? So we kind of start talking. And he told me, he's like, anyone crazy enough to f with me is crazy enough to play with me. Do you want to be a Laker? And I mean, I grew up in Cali. I'm a Showtime Magic Johnson dude. I'm like, hell yeah. So like 4 days later, I was a Laker. So we went from kind of just competitors to teammates. And then during that very first season, we were both going through stuff in our personal lives. So we really, really bonded. Like, we were kicking it. I got this motherfucker to go out in Milwaukee of all cities. Like, we were always out and about doing shit and really kicked it and talked about our kids and talked about life and business and family and all this kind of shit. So we really went from competitors to teammates to brothers, to the point where he's always sending the twins their new shoe. He's, you know, Gigi we'd all be playing at all the shit out in Orange County, and Kobe would hit me up the night before, like, yo, I saw you guys in the tournament. What time you play? We play at 9, they play at 11. I'll be there. You know, Kobe would come 2 hours early to watch the twins play. So it was just like that kind of relationship that I built with them off basketball is obviously something I'll never forget, and very grateful, because you hear so many different things about Kobe, but if he lets you in, he's nothing like you hear he is. He's he's an incredible, crazy, shit-talking motherfucker. You know, he's just a cool-ass dude, but he's the Mamba with that mentality to everyone else. But if he lets you in to see the person, the man, the father, he's an incredible dude. So
how much did he help impact, you know, obviously he was coaching Gigi, how much did that help you kind of with coaching your kids? Any advice he kind of gave you on that side?
No, not necessarily, because it was something I always wanted to do. I was actually surprised when I saw him cross over, you know what I mean? Because I used to talk shit about him all the time, like, not shit, but like, you got all girls, I got boys. Blah, blah. We would go back and forth when we were having kids, you know what I mean? When he was having his daughters, like, damn, another girl, Cove. And I remember he in bold letters one time, and I think when he had his last daughter, he's like, God has a sick sense of humor, and he had it in capital letters when I think his last daughter was being born. So once he found out that Gigi had a love for it, it was beautiful, because he finally could attach himself to that, and that's when they went to another level, you know, because he was waiting for that opportunity. He was very content with being a girl dad, but obviously he's Kobe, so he wanted to be able to teach basketball to somebody. And, you know, when Gigi was the one, it was dope to see at the beginning where she kind of got into it, and then he even said it on our podcast, like, yo, she's the one that got me watching games again. She got me ordering the NBA package, like it was Gigi. So to be able to see that and just kind of see his whole transformation, I was the one that was actually surprised because I already knew I was going to do it. I just never thought that I would see Kobe sitting on the bench, coaching girls. And when I tell you, like, the one thing he told me is like, yo, these girls practice like 5 or 6 days a week. Running the triangles, Dizzy's just like, we're not the most talented team, so we have to have some kind of structure. So those girls are out there practicing 5, 6 days a week. Just to see his attention to detail and his crossover to being, his daughter's coach, I thought was dope.
We got Master P and Mercy Miller on the show, man. We appreciate y'all pulling up.
Yeah, like you said, what I love about what Mercy did is important that we're in a position where you can commit early and have your plans for college. Because, most players, they plan with a lot of pressure. Yeah. I think he's going to be able to play with no pressure. The coach believe in him. Coach Sampson told him the other day, like, it was only 3 other players he seen that remind him of him that he'd actually seen was LeBron, D-Rose, and Westbrook, that he seen instantly that he felt like was special.
So when you hear that,
that's great people to be like compared to, and like just seeing that for me, that just pushes me to drive me to be one of them greats. So it makes me want to keep going.
Now, P, you started out at Houston early on. That's where you first started before you moved to the Bay. So how much did it mean for you to see your son following your footsteps and going to University of Houston as well?
It was great because at first he wanted to go to Duke. As a kid growing up, all you think is Duke. But I took him to a lot of Houston games. When we left New Orleans, we moved to Houston, and I took him to a lot of games, him and his brother. And he always told me, Dad, when I go to college, I want to go to either University of Houston or Duke. So last year, a couple of years ago, we went. He seen all the people that I done played with and everything, from Akeem to everybody. He seen all the legends there, and he felt the atmosphere. He go in there and it's like, man, I want to be on that wall. Yeah. And it was great because he worked hard. Like, just not because he's my son, but people think, oh, he getting no favors. We've been doing this since he was 4 years old. He always played up. I think maybe he was like 5 or 6 years old. He was playing with Jalen Suggs and Hersey and all those guys on a national AAU team, and then he took his own AAU team. He played with the Knight Riders and the PM Ballers, and this team that I put together, where you seen from DeMar to Brandon Jennings to all these NBA stars come from this program that I have in California. I go in the inner city and get some of the top kids in the country. You don't know they gonna be stars, but I stuck with them. And we didn't have to go through a lot of stuff that a lot of kids sold their souls to. And so we was able to help them cross their careers over, and then show my son the same thing. Like, man, you don't need to play for no tennis shoes and no backpack. Do what you do if you love it. And then because we seen a lot of kids, a lot of kids that were stars back then. We don't care about being ranking. Like, people just start finding out about Mercy because they thought he was a senior last year. So he's never been ranked with his class. Like, no, think about this crazy. So when ESPN seen him this year in the summer, they got a chance, like, what, is he a freshman? So all the other kids that been, way above him, they never really seen us. 8th grade, he played varsity with Jalen Suggs and Chet and them, and they won a title. Then last year, as a 9th grader, he won state championship, and if it wasn't for him, we would have lost. We played some of the toughest teams that, what's the kid from Detroit?
Monty Bates.
Yeah. So we done played some of the toughest schedules out here. We don't run from numbers, we just look at numbers. We just like you, dog. Like, look, same way you look at numbers. We don't care who a person is. And that's how I played. When I played against Milk Wagner and all them dudes, people was like, Milk Wagner, man, I don't know who this guy is, but I got to play him. And if he could take one of these bowls, he gonna be good, because after I played him, Gilbert, they wanted me to go to Louisville, so I was gonna go to Louisville. Once I was gonna be with Denny Crum, but I ended up going to Houston and playing with Guy Lewis, one of the legends, coaches, around, and then my son now being able to go to Houston and commit. Because think about it, Hersey, his older brother, is one of the highest paid players, and he go to HBCU. But it's in the OVC, the same where John Morant came from with Murray State and all them. So you got an opportunity to do. We was talking about the other day. You got an opportunity to do something incredible, but he got to score the ball.
Yeah.
You can't, like, this game now done changed,
Yeah.
and we straight shooters. I learned how to shoot in the dark with no lights, and so I gave it to my kids. Like, look, if you can shoot the basketball, you're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
And you athletic, and you could do all the other things you could do, and you understand about getting good grades, and then, like Hersey was able to get one of the biggest deals in college. Imagine you already got your own school 2 years picked already. Same guy who owned the Houston Rockets come from University of Houston with me. So
yeah, so that's a really good thing, because it does take the pressure off.
Yeah.
Really, because now you don't have to worry about the college and them in the stands seeing like judging you. You be like, oh man, I gotta perform. 'Cause you just get to go play now. You know what I mean? You get to play, you get to study, you get to like really tackle like the things in your game that you need to improve without anybody actually judging it. Like, you don't have to worry about like going into the summer, and it's like free agency. You go into the summer, competing with everybody else for college. That's nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Parents in the stands just yelling stuff out like, "Yo, just let me do me." But like right now that you already signed, that's the hard part. Getting that out of the way now is just easy, just training. Getting your routine down.
you see us win that with Chris every day.
Yeah, I see him. That's what I said.
So you see what Zaya was able to do right now. Go to the G League, but with us, it's like we got to get that education thing first. Like, we've been preparing for that because we got some bigger things it's life after basketball. Basketball only lasts so long. And so we look at everybody's careers, all the greats, all y'all, everything that you've done is like, at the end of the day, we got to have something to fall back on. We're not gonna be able to play basketball forever, because Father Time is gonna catch up with you.
No Chill's brought to you by MUDWTR. MUDWTR is a coffee alternative with 4 adaptogenic mushrooms and Ayurvedic herbs. With 1/7 the caffeine as a cup of coffee, you get energy without the anxiety, jitters, or crash of coffee. I know you're probably thinking, but I love coffee and what it does for me. Well, listen to what some of these ingredients do. Cacao and chai boost your mood and give you a microdose of caffeine. Lion's mane gives you alertness. It's a type of mushroom. Don't come at me in the DMs for messing with animals. If you hit the gym, cordyceps helps support physical performance. Chaga and reishi support your immune system. Get your anti-inflammatory game on point and relieve soreness with turmeric. And last but not least, cinnamon levels you up on antioxidants. Who doesn't love cinnamon? Yes, it's a little weird at first, but so was Kawhi. And look how he turned out. For those of you on special diets, MUDWTR is Whole30 approved, 100% USDA organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, vegan, and kosher certified. So get rid of that early afternoon crash and build a new morning ritual with MUDWTR. And just because they appreciate the No Chill fans, they're giving you 15% off. Just head to MUDWTR.com/NoChill. That's MUDWTR.com/NoChill for 15% off. Your son KJ in the league now. I was watching him during summer league, putting in work with the Rocket squad. How much did you push him as a father to get into basketball, and when did you know that he could play in the league?
Actually, I never pushed him to play. He just, out the womb, man. He just, first time he saw a ball, he picked it up and he never put it down. Like, to be honest, like, it was just, he was always around it. He was, like, when you're a kid, like, I had KJ when I was my rookie year. You know what I'm saying? So my second year, he was around. So he's been around the game since he could walk and talk, and that's all he knew. Like my dad in the NBA, like my dad in the NBA, like my daddy on TV, like, that's him. Like my daddy dunking, my daddy good, my daddy doing this, my dad, so that's all he knew. So he always played, man, always was around the game, always had a ball in his hand, man, from if there was a ball, if there was a hoop in the swimming pool, he's shooting and dunking. If they're on the court, he going to the rec, playing with the older kids during the summer. We in Dallas, and he just always wanted to be around the game, man. And he just, as he got older, he just continuously got better and better. And putting the time in and started listening more what I'm telling him, and then like between like his junior and senior year at Sierra Canyon, man, I just like, and the way the game was changing, like positionless and things he was doing, like I was just, I mean, if he started just shooting the ball more from the perimeter, that's all he was, in my opinion, like that's all he was missing. I'm saying, because he could shoot it well, but he wouldn't shoot it. Like, but I'm just thinking like, but why, if I'm being successful doing this at this level, like at a high clip, why would I go out here and shoot 6 threes a game when I can average 19, dunking and shooting twos and free throws, you know what I'm saying? So I got it. But I'm just trying to explain to him, like, in order for you to get where you're trying to get to, this is what you got to do. And he just started listening, man. He just continued to get better, man. Just the growth and his willingness to put the time in, the willingness to be critiqued, and the willingness to take a unbeaten path to get to where he wanted to get to. And just the disrespect he had, he just used it, man. And with me being there, like I'm his biggest supporter. Like I'm Team KJ, like no other dad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so we there, man. I'm honest with him during the games. He doing it, and yeah, man. I was just proud of the work. And of course, we all want to be first round picks. We all want to be this. We all want, but everybody path different, as you know. You know what I'm saying? So him being able to be drafted at 52 was a blessing. Being able to go to the Rockets in that situation is a blessing. And going into year 2 now, expectations are there for him to get minutes, contribute in a major way, and continue to, grow. And what I've seen of him this summer, he's doing that. He's doing other things that he needs to do in order to be successful to help his game grow. And the sky's the limit for him. Like, he has no idea. I tell him all the time, but you don't have idea. Like, you have no idea how good you can be. So it's just for me, man. I just sit back, man. I'm a proud dad. I'm saying, just to watch it, man. The childhood dream of his. Parents who children become successful in their childhood dreams, like, know that feeling. Like, for them to voice something at a young age, like, I want to do that, no matter what it is. And for them to follow through with it, and them to put the time in and the effort and the heartache and the tear, all that into it, and for it to come full circle, like, I was more happy in that moment, man, for him to be drafted than I was on my draft day. I'm saying, because it's my child, and I know what it meant to him. I'm saying, so.
What kind of dad are you at the games? My pops played in the league, and you know, I would look at him more than the coaches. That was kind of the thing. Yeah, I know you got kids now. It's like, you know, coach might say something. Coach might say something. I gotta look at him. Okay, shoot it. Nah, I'm gonna go ahead and pull. So, what kind of dad are you watching those games? Or are you constantly making eye contact with them, giving them advice? Kind of, it's like, I think like Richard Williams with Serena and Venus. Like, they could just look up at Pops and he's gonna tell them where to go.
Yeah, like early on, like freshman year, sophomore year, summer, junior, like. Junior year, I started backing off a little more because I saw you starting to listen. Senior year, like, I just sit there and legs crossed, popcorn. But if I see something, I'll be like, hey, yo, he'll think about it, he'll raise his hand. You know what I'm saying? Because we done talked about these situations, and like during the course of the game, you got to process things and think about plays that you made or you could have made during the course of the game. So you're critiquing yourself as you playing. And then after the fact, you do it even more. But in that moment, I was like, yo, like I should have spun. Like,
should have spun. Yeah.
So it's just that. But nah, at the game, like I'm rowdy. Like, I'm loud. Like, oh, I'm that dad. Like, he know, he been there with me. He the same way. You know? Like, he the same way. I'm that dad. Like, I'm supporting. Like, my kid, no matter what. So my daughter's 6, soccer. Dad, you can't yell at my games like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is what she tell Dad. Like, you make me nervous. Like, yeah, but I'm out there, hey, like, I'm Team Martin,
yelling
baby,
at
like,
everything but the plays.
Yeah, everything.
Ref, you're in the wrong position to make that call.
Yeah,
get down there. Like,
all of that. All of that. I done had a ref tell me, like, before I say something one game, he just make a statement before he turn around. Like, learn the game. You don't know what you're talking about. He turn around, he like, oh shit, like like he know what he talking about, like them situations. But no, I man, ref, they out there, they little huddle, and man, the only thing y'all should be talking about right now is how bad y'all been today. Oh, I'm that dad. They come over there, Mr. Martin, we're gonna have to ask you to come. I ain't come down, I ain't cussing, I ain't doing nothing. They can't tell them to do their job better, and I won't have anything to say. Oh, I'm that, like, you say something about my kid in the stand, oh yeah, I got something to say. Like, listen, 9 to 99, blind, clipper, or crazy, you say something to mine, I'm gonna approach you and I got something to say.
You know, so many of them rules is different. Like high school rules and like, you know, it's like when we get to a certain level, we forget all the rules we played in. Like some of those things to us, that's not even a call. What is that?
Yes.
Like that, what is that? That fall on the floor, this ain't 1952, bro. They done changed that. They're like, well, not up here. They haven't done that here.
Ref told me, like, I told Mel, man, like, the kid camped out in the lane, man. It's 3 seconds is a viable call in basketball. He said, but it's not a popular call. I said, but it's still in the rule book. Like,
it's not a popular call.
It's not a popular call. Like, where? Here? Oh, that's probably the only place I've ever heard that. So listen, man, get him out of the paint, man. Just camp out. But I'm like, I support, man, to no end. I'm loud, I'm rambunctious, I'm cheering, I'm cheering my guys on, my daughter, whoever in it. Like, I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about my family. I'm passionate about whatever it is they doing. So I'm gonna let people know who I'm there for.
Let's talk about your son, Tanner. Well, I was watching some highlights.
That's his favorite.
But I'm
just tough.
And for people that, you know, obviously your NBA career, but at Duke and the stuff that you were getting off, I'm watching clips of your son. I'm like, damn, this looks like Dahntay back in the day when he was just free to go get buckets, do what he wanted to do. When you look, he's going to be a junior in high school now, right? Now, how do you help him? I saw an interview he did for a paper, and he was talking about just kind of dealing with the pressure of following in your footsteps. How do you help him deal with that? And do you put any pressure on him to follow in your footsteps as well, or to just, you know, let him worry about being his own man and having his own game?
Well, first of all, we have 2 separate games, period. My son is extremely skilled. He can really shoot the ball.
But you say you couldn't do it? I mean,
no. He just has. He's been developed differently. Like he's been playing basketball since he was in Pampers. Like I remember he was like 18 months old, learning how to walk, and he's shooting on the wall of my room door. Like he's been ingrained in basketball. Some of his first words were defense. Like he's been in arenas his whole type of life. I didn't have that life. So he's been dribbling this ball and been like, he's coming to YouTube era, been watching plays, learning how to play, been in NBA arenas, like learning from different guys, been around Kai at an early age, been around Brown at an early age, like seeing all this stuff. So his game is more mature than mine. I started really playing basketball in like 6th, 7th grade.
Yeah.
And never really thought about being a professional athlete until I got to college, until like my cousin Al was like, yo, when you coming into the draft? And I was like, how you do it? Like, I was always preparing for life after basketball. I was wanting to go get a college scholarship, play basketball in college, but like I didn't really think, it didn't really cross my mind that I could be a professional athlete. So from the door, that's been his focus. So he's kind of focused his game after like a Kai. He can score, he can get downhill, he can really shoot it. He has my build, he's strong and athletic, but he just plays it. He plays it at a different level than I did because I didn't have the opportunity to be a guard. Like I was the biggest person on my team. They put you in the post. Like now they'll let a 7-foot person play guard. Like back then you're big, you're a center, you're a power forward. I didn't play guard to AAU in like my junior year, and my AAU coach was like, no, you're a shooting guard. I thought I was a 4. Okay, cool. Now I get to do some different things. But so he's been a point guard his whole life, a big point guard at that. And he had some gifts that I just didn't have. I didn't focus on shooting. I just was just having fun and hooping.
Yeah, I'm his agent, so.
Yeah, he loves the kid.
Yeah, so he's better than Dahntay.
No, yes, yes.
You know, we got all the skills. We got the dribble skills. We got the hesitation, and I'm kind of disappointed in Dahntay because he put him on another AAU team when that's my guy.
That's always been his guy.
I teach my guy 1-4 flat. Do not care about the rest of the team.
The 1-4.
He was the one I used to say, hey,
Yeah, he's bad. He's bad for him in that area. But how I try to help him out, we watch clips. Like now that I am a coach, I get to see it in a different capacity, break the game down for him, show him how to be a point guard. Just teach him different intricacies because it can get kind of boring because he plays in Missouri. So like he can dominate off his body. But now you're on the EYBL stage right now, and you're used to just being able to dominate people who now they're maybe bigger or faster than you. Now you have to like think with your mind, and you have different responsibilities. So now I get to be more hands-on because I also already have them during the summer.
So what's it like for you, both of y'all, just seeing that world now, coming up, it was, regional, sectional, like you were playing with guys in the same area. Now you get an EYBL, dudes is jumping teams, you got trades, free agent. I mean, you got all this crazy stuff going on now with these leagues.
I think, EYBL, all of that is just, it's a money play now, so it's not the same when we came up. Like the teams then were just all dominant players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was, if you was a freshman and you was on that team, you was high level. Like just to be a freshman on a traveling team back then, you was nice as hell. There was no 15U, 16U, 16U, gold, platinum, and hold back. It was just one team. And if you was nice, you made that team. If you didn't, see your ass next tryout, goddammit.
See, I had a different experience. Being on the East Coast, like we only came and saw the West Coast for Vegas tournament.
Yeah, and the Bigfoot.
Yeah, and
maybe Pump and Run in the Vegas or something like that.
The first time I saw like Mike Miller, I was like, oh man, like I never had seen a 6'8" white guy that could like dunk and really shoot and like really be athletic. I was blown away because we don't just have those on the East Coast. But my team we had the same jersey, different short. Everybody had their own shorts and their own shoes. But like me and my cousin Al, and we had some dudes from around the way. And they were just putting us on the circuit. Like we did it. They could hoop.
Had a bullshit team.
We one of them. Like, but they could hoop.
Non-matching shorts.
But my coach Sandy Pione was like taking kids from his area and like taking care of them. So like Randy Foy was one of them. Like Kai was one of them. He had another big man. I can't remember his name before, but Al was one of his products. Like they were kids from around the way that he just put and showed them a different side of basketball. I would literally have to drive an hour and a half to go to practice every day. So my parents actually worked, so New Jersey, my parents worked in New Brunswick. They would come back south home from work, and then we would go up to North Jersey to take me to practice twice a week. And so that's possibly like 3 hours of driving just to go and practice a day because we didn't have any AAU teams where I was from.
Oh, so there was basically no.
Yeah, so I found a team that was kind of had some sponsorship, was going a couple places and jumped on it. I didn't have a collection of like killers to go with. You probably had some kids that could really, really, really hoop. I'm 6'6", but I might be the third tallest dude on the team. I had me, Al. I'm trying to see the next person that played with me. Remember James Felton?
No.
6'10" kid that went to St. John's. But
nobody, I'm sorry.
Rodney White.
Okay, yeah.
Rodney White. I had Rodney White for a couple tournaments, but like Rodney was floating between DC and Philly, like his family.
So he was on DC Assault.
But but his family structure kept changing, so he was in different places at that time. So he had us for a couple tournaments. But we didn't have the resources. We didn't have. I was blown away when CMH had Jordan uniforms.
No, y'all was a poor AAU team. We got it. It was like a park meet.
So we didn't have what y'all had.
Shit, I played with the K-Swiss squad.
Bro, you played with 40 stars too, though.
Did you ever play a Christmas game?
Hell no.
Dude. So we're gonna speak hypothetically, but what's it like? For players like yourself, you played a lot of day after Christmas games, but just that holiday season is, you're grubbing out whatever, the ham, the meat, the greens, potatoes, beans, tomato, all that good stuff. Does it impact your game, or is holiday season, like, does it slow down for you at all, obviously between that Thanksgiving kind of Christmas window and you ramp back up, obviously, once the holidays are over?
Okay, so let's go ahead and throw this out in the air. Holidays are the worst for I can't speak for all sports, NBA. Because the problem with, holidays is either you're home and you're leaving the same day or you're on the road. So you're not really actually enjoying the holiday with your loved ones, because it's like if you play on the 26th, the day after Christmas, you're leaving the 25th around 3 o'clock, right? They might extend it to 5. You know, the fight might be at 5, but you're not really, you know, you're just opening presents, hey, all right, dinner, whoop, and out. You're on a plane on to the next city because you're playing the 26th. If you're playing at home on the 24th, your next game is the 26th, you might be on the road again. So, or you might have to, you're on a road trip. So I never really got to enjoy Christmas at home because I was never there. Like I remember Jared Jeffries, Thanksgiving and Christmas, his mother had to drive to wherever we were to give us our food. So she'd make the food and deliver it so she drove all the way. So if we was like, let's say Chicago and she's in Indiana, she'll drive to Chicago and then we'll get a dining room and she'll set up Thanksgiving for us.
So she's making
Christmas food.
I mean, how was that food?
Oh, amazing.
Okay.
Yes, it was amazing.
Even with the travel?
As I said, so you're Christmasing with your teammates for the most part. So you're not really in that Christmas spirit.
If you can remember, like, what's the worst place you had to spend a Christmas at during your NBA career?
Well, since I'm on the East Coast, it was basically anywhere because it was cold as shit. He was in some cold city that was snowing, and you know what I mean? And then you're in a hotel eating hamburgers and what's the name? They don't, you know what I mean? That's what they're eating fries, hamburgers, and what's the name? If you didn't have, you wasn't home. So it was like, it wasn't depressing, but it wasn't like, especially when you start having kids, it's not like, dang. Like, yeah, send me pictures of the little dude like the president or whatever.
But I mean, you joke and you laugh about that, but how hard is that for you as a parent? Because I remember, my pops was on the tail end of his career, so, it wasn't like he wasn't around a lot, but just being able to form that bond with kids, and these are supposed to be holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, things like that, where you get to form those bonds, and it's like you're doing it on FaceTime. Like.
You're a parent, but you're not a parent.
Yeah.
Like you're a substitute parent. Usually, like there's a running joke that wives and girlfriends are like, man, you need to stay on the road because every time you come in here, you mess up the routine. Because your family has a routine, and you're on the road 16 days. You come back, you're messing it up because you're happy to see the kids. You're staying up late. You're doing this, and it throws them off. And then you're back on the road. Now they got to get them back on track. You come back, mess it up again. So you have this little funny friction. But when it comes to holidays, it's just you're just a paycheck. You're just a wallet, bro. You're just a wallet of this wish list of what needs to be happening. You just giving it like, yo. Back then it was no FaceTime, so you're calling like, oh yeah, I got the picture. Yeah, he didn't look too happy. Like he ain't like that. He ain't like the train said, all right, okay. Like they play with the box more than the toy. Got it. Little kids, so they like the boxes in the bags more than they did the toys.
Last question comes from TK. He says, how do you manage having a significant other while playing in the league?
Yeah, don't. Now just playing.
I knew where this was going.
I mean, is he asking for a serious one or?
He may be getting ready to play in the league, and he wants to know how to maintain his boo.
It's so hard. Look, I'm just going to be honest. We're just going to be honest here. When you're coming to the NBA, you're a kid, young adult. You're coming in with a girlfriend who's a young adult. These are not women. You're not men. You're not, no matter if you have a family, you're in your 18, 19s, 20s. Now you are a star player or NBA player. No matter what she was in college, high school, 8 or 9, real 8, 9s, and 10s are gonna be throwing it at you. I don't care how strong-willed you think you are, but when the top-tier girls that you see in magazines and TV and the videos are throwing it to you, you ain't rejecting it. So it's how strong and realistic the girlfriend is at that moment in time, which is the hard part. It's not necessarily the guy. It's usually how mentally strong the woman is. Dealing with possible other women cheering for you when you go into the arena. Like, yeah, that's my boo, and then you got 20,000 other bodies in there saying the same thing. You know what I mean? So it's really hard. It's really hard. But besides that part, let's just say you're both adults. It's even harder because this part, you're on a road, 2-3 weeks at times, right? When you come home, you want home cooked food. You want your bed, you want relax. Well, your girlfriend and the kids or your wife and the kids has been home for 3 weeks. When you come home, they want to go out. They want to go out and eat. They want to go that. So boom, you guys are clashing off of something that's just simple. One's been out eating food and hotel food and sleeping in different beds, not knowing what hotel room number he's in, coming home and just trying to relax, while the other one's like, we've been home this whole time. We want to go out. Here's the kids. And you're like, I'm happy. I really wanted to just sit on by myself a little bit. But you know what I mean? And that's where usually fights happen. And that's why the statistics is so high. The first 4 years, there's a divorce. Because out of the first 4 years, that's the first time you're actually seeing that person for who they are. Like, what's your name again? Oh, these our kids? How old is this one? 7? Are you 7 already? Damn, like, what do you eat? Like, it's like the basic questions like you ask. What's your favorite color again? Blue. Yes, it was blue. I thought it was red this whole time. Okay.
You were on the road thinking it was red?
No, what happened is because you have this, it's a fantasy relationship. It's a fantasy relationship. Like, let's not fool her. It is not a real everyday relationship. You gotta remember, I'm playing 41 games on the road. I am gone as much as I am home. So our fights don't actually get resolved. So if we have a fight, we're gonna resolve it in 10 days over this text. Yeah. We're not sitting down like real adults and hashing this shit out. We're texting. You can see it on the players' faces, a whole bunch of that, and then by the time a week done go by, I can't wait to see you, miss you, and this and this. But you didn't really deal with anything. You go home for 2 days and then you're back on the road. So you're not really having a real family relationship. And then in the summer, it's vacation. We're gonna go on vacation. 2 weeks into that player's already trying to set up his next workouts. Oh, yeah, man, I need to go ahead and get out of this house, bro, get into these workouts. You know what I mean? So you don't really get to see who that person that you've been with for 10 years until you're done. Until you're done and you have nowhere to escape. And you're like, yeah. Oh, so you like to read all Sunday. Oh, you like to talk for an hour, huh? So we just gotta talk about our feelings, got it? Yeah, that's how it is. That's real. Like, you be sitting there like, yeah, them groupies on the road was so much better. It was so much funner. They didn't talk at all.
Yo, I know nothing about this, but we appreciate y'all. It's been No Chill with Gilbert Arenas. We'll be back very soon with more. Appreciate y'all questions as well.